Goodbye, galleys with good oars, sail to distant shores. Stand up high in the prow, noble bark I steer. Steady course to the haven, hew many foemen. My mother told me someday I would buy galleys with good oars, sail to distant shores. Stand up high in the prow, noble bark I steer. Steady course to the haven, hew many foemen. My mother told me someday I would buy galleys with good oars, sail to distant shores. Stand up high in the prow, noble bark I steer. Steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen, hew many foemen.
Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. Chris, how the hell are you?
I am doing really, really well. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty fantastic. It is a gorgeous, beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. It's bloody hot. I want to say it's probably already 75 degrees.
It was chilly and rainy here. I think the high got up to like 55 and it rained most of the day. So I think we've got good weather for some reason. That's usually
yeah, no kidding. It's usually pretty shitty over here. But yeah, no, it's beautiful April day, man. So happy Saturday again, everybody. For those of you that may be watching this for the first time or tuning in now for the first time, we are the Kilted. We get together and talk about fragrances and adult beverages. I am Brandon. I am from DaVinci's Alchemyst. And of course, my co-host is Chris.
From the Scented Swordsman. More content coming soon, I do promise. But yeah, check me out on Instagram for most things.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Actually, I was going to candidly ask you if we should expect to see some more videos anytime in the near future, since you've been slacking worse than I have, which is pretty saying something.
It depends on your definition of near future.
Gotcha. So today, Chris and I got together after last episode and decided that we would today talk about two things. We wanted to get some mixed drinks for you guys, some of our favorites or whatnot. And then also we want to talk about Zaharoff and George Zaharoff himself, who just recently had a birthday. So happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday.
And yeah, absolutely. And so before we get to rolling to today's episode, let's say hey to everybody in the chat for right now. So we got Michelle from Udo Pantograph. Hi, Michelle. How are you? And Musk Up. What's cracking? Good afternoon, everybody. D'Angelo is in the house.
What's up, D'Angelo?
Tiggy Girl is in the house. I'm going to grab a chair since why the hell not? I am in my kitchen for this because this is where I mix drinks. So hope you guys don't mind having to deal with my kitchen. All right. So yeah, hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Hey, Andrea from Curly Sense. Andrea, how are you? So glad you could join us. What is cracking? So before we start making some adult beverages for you guys, Chris, it's been a month. So what's new and exciting?
Well, let's see. New and exciting as far as fragrances go. I haven't really bought all that much lately. I picked up Spice Bomb Eau Fraiche since it's kind of hard to get now. I had a notification from Fragrance Buy that it was back in stock, so I snatched it up. It's nice. Just like the normal Spice Bomb, but fresher. It doesn't last super long like the original Spice Bomb, but definitely still worth picking up if you can find it. And this one I have been wearing the hell out of. This is Gallagher Perfecto. And
I've heard good things about that.
This one is extremely good, and I got a great price on it because I took it from Hill. So sorry, Hill.
So you flat out just stole it from her, huh?
Yeah.
Why not? Business
I mean, she knows
partners.
my lead.
Yeah, exactly. Frag friends, it works. So, I'm kind of in a slow period right now. Trying to be in a slow period. I've got a lot of bills I got to pay. I'm trying to get myself a new rig here pretty soon. So I've been trying to not buy anything. Now, granted, right after we finished our last episode, Chris and I decided to go over the Zaharoff fragrances, and I didn't have them. So the cheapest option for me was to get the travel kit, and it comes with all three of the currently available. Of course, the Signature Pour Homme, the Royale, and the Noir. So, and we are going to be talking about those today in detail, of course. And then let's see, I had a little birdie hook me up with the new Spice Bomb Infrared, which I will be having speaking of Spice Bomb, I will be doing a review on that here relatively soon. And one of my coworkers, Mr. Javon Jones, who we also refer to as Motherfucker Jones, he gave me a decant. Honestly, I can't believe he did that. He gave me a decant of the Louis Vuitton Novarmont, and I just need to put this into an atomizer bottle and get that checked out and put a review out for that too, because that's some spendy stuff. I don't know if you know how spendy the Louis Vuitton bottles are, and they don't come in smaller ones, so it's kind of bunk if you ask me. But
their bottles are really pretty though.
Yeah, the bottles are really gorgeous. Heather, thanks for coming in and saying hello.
Hey there.
Happy Saturday. So yeah, pretty much for me, that's it. But I gotta, I'm gonna preface today's episode with the fact that once I burn through these small travelers, I've got to get this trifecta kit, all three of them, because I'm really digging them, really digging them. But there will be time for that post beverage. So, also one last thing before we get started, I wanted to kind of run it by everybody in the chat, everybody that's watching the video in the future, would like your input. Now, I'm really enjoying the hell out of this. I have a good time with it. And also I haven't really talked to Chris about doing it or not, but I thought, what did you guys think it would be better for us to do it every 2 weeks, like twice a month, or just keep it on the once a month? I don't even know if we have time to do it twice a month, but I would like some input just before we start tossing around ideas to each other. Also about whether or not you like the time slot, because I know it is 1 o'clock here. It's a little later where you guys are at, and it's definitely evening time in the UK. But, it does give me an excuse to day drink once a month. So that's not too bad. Musk every day. I have a day job. I'm a construction worker. By the time I get home from work, I'm thoughtful today. I really appreciate that. I think it's awesome. But by the time I get home from work, I have time to walk my dog, do my dishes, eat dinner, and go to sleep, and maybe do some YouTube stuff. But that's about it. And I know Chris is a busy man as well, so definitely can't do it every day. But I like the idea of we had twice. Yeah, that'd be great. Wouldn't it be awesome? We need to get some sponsors. Nike.
Nike.
Anybody else? Well, Chris will tattoo the swoosh on his forehead.
The fine people at Lafrague. I mean, maybe they'll want to sponsor us.
Yeah. Woodford Reserve, if you're looking for some YouTube guys to sponsor, we're open and available. We'll shill for booze. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Well, so let's get rolling. Let's make an adult beverage, guys. Happy Saturday. Chris, how about you? You throw out what you're going to go for. Let's hear about what you want to bring to the table today.
All right, so everybody has heard of a Moscow Mule. So here in Kentucky, we call it a Kentucky Mule, and we use bourbon as the liquor of choice. So basically, what you're going to do, I like to use a highball glass. And today, since it's a Kentucky Mule, I'll be using Buffalo Trace bourbon. Only supposed to be, a little bit less than a shot, but when it's bourbon, You measure with your heart. You know, you measure with your
Oh
heart.
yeah. Typically for me, a shot is 2 ounces. So
Yeah, it calls for like 1.5 ounce. So typically, I like to just about double that for mine.
perfect. Well, you're in a
And
highball
then
glass.
lime juice. So fresh squeezed lime. I saved you guys the expense of watching me squeeze a lime, and went ahead and did that off the camera. And then you are going to have another highball full of ice. Pour that in there. And then this is where the magic happens. You need a Reed's ginger beer. And this stuff is extremely tasty, and the lime cuts right through it.
So quick question on your ginger beer preference, Chris. Do you like the super hardcore ginger a little more, or do you like the Reed's has those 3 different strength levels? Do you like the strongest one or the medium?
I like the extra. I like it spicy. If I can't feel my lips tingling, it's not enough. You know?
Nice.
And there you go.
There you go. Sweet. So now I've heard sometimes people like to use the lemon instead of lime. Or do you prefer lime or do you prefer lemon?
I prefer the lime, and usually I'll like throw a little bit of a sprig of mint on there. But I didn't have any mint today. So I mean, here in Kentucky, we throw mint on everything. You know, if it's not a mint julep, get it close.
Yeah, no shit. That is very, very true. Well, the Kentucky Mule is awesome. I'm a huge fan of the mules. I actually they drink something like that. They don't call it like the Irish Mule over in Ireland. They call it the Gold Watch, which is Jameson, ginger ale. Typically, it's like Schweppes instead of just the standard ginger ale instead of like the ginger beer strong stuff. But then they throw a little lemon juice in there, and bing, called Gold Watch. Not sure why it's called a Gold Watch, to be honest.
I guess because of the lemon. I'm not sure.
Could be. Yeah, the color's nice. The color's nice. Yeah, I like the super spicy ginger beer myself. So if I do any of those mules, I get the super spicy stuff. So, well, cheers. So for me, I whipped out the old cocktail book. So this is a book that I started writing in a while ago. I bartended for a short period of time. Been totally into making drinks for a long time. So I have this drink that I basically made the recipe for. And it's called Zeitgeist. So this is a little detailed. Apologize for the length of this, but I'm going to get my ice cubes real quick back here. I didn't 100% prep properly, but so I can't stress enough how much I love these. These are 1x1 ice cubes.
Ooh, fancy.
So these chill the drink super, super fast. They don't get a lot of dilution. You can buy these 1x1 ice cube trays on cocktailkingdom.com. Not affiliated, unfortunately, but they're one of my favorite cocktail supply websites. And then also put that aside there. Part of this drink is part of this drink is using a cold brew coffee ice cube.
Ooh.
So you get your glass. You have this nice little mold that I use to make coffee ice cubes. So I'm probably going to have to run that underwater or just leave it for a second. I'll just leave it for a sec. So you get your mixing glass, add, Peychaud's bitters, a couple of dashes of that. Super important because it brings that absinthe anise sort of herbal flavor to the drink. And then you go with another herbal concoction. So this is Benedictine. So this is a super, super herbal liqueur. And I go with 3/4 ounce in this particular drink. Now, this is pretty sweet and pretty rich, but you'll if you make this, you'll understand why. I don't have anything to wipe this off. That's stupid of me. Sorry. I'm going to put this to the side. And then let's see. Yeah, I don't have this memorized, so I've got to read off my book. 3/4 of an ounce of cherry hearing. Now this is a pretty old liqueur as well. I think it is over 100 years old. Super popular for using in the Singapore sling.
Wow.
Yeah, 3/4 of an ounce of that into the glass. And then I choose a good bourbon or rye. Today I'm using my favorite mixing rye, and that is Rittenhouse. Bottled in bond, and it is 100 proof, so it's good and stout. 2 ounces of that. So you can see why we're going with some strong herbal sweetness, because you're cutting through 2 ounces of 100 proof booze is you're gonna have to go heavy. You gotta go heavy or go home.
You can never go wrong with bottled and bond. You know you've got some good taste there.
Oh yeah. I prefer, if I'm gonna mix a drink, I'll go either the Rittenhouse rye, or I'll go with Old Grandad bottled and bond.
Oh yeah.
So bear with me. I'm gonna run this underwater real fast.
So everybody in the chat, do you have a favorite bourbon or whiskey that you like to mix with? Do you mix with your higher end stuff, or do you buy lower end stuff just for mixing? Actually, me and my little brother had kind of a rye tasting yesterday. He brought over a couple, and I've always got several on hand. I just picked up a Wild Turkey 101 rye. It's over there somewhere. And we were comparing that one to an Old Forester rye, my favorite, which is the Woodford Reserve rye, and the Wild Turkey Eagle or Rare Breed rye. That one is the best, but it's also $66, so like triple the price of most of the other ones.
Yeah, that that Wild Turkey is pretty damn decent, especially for mixing. So, all right, so bunch of cubes you're going to toss in there with your concoction that's pre-mixed. So you fill it as high as you can and still get your spoon in there, because you want to be able to, like I said, get this chilled pretty quickly. So now typically when I'm mixing, I go roughly about 70 revolutions in the glass. Or as a visual, in case you're doing a million other things, just can you watch the side of the mixing glass? And if you see like up and down the sides, it starts to get a little bit frosty. That's when you know you've reached some pretty optimal temperature. Okay. Oh yeah. So then I just go strain that directly right onto that cube. It's nice and dark.
Gorgeous color too.
Yeah. And then, just to amp it up a little, I'll garnish it with a Amarena cherry. So these, don't screw around, in my opinion, with those maraschino cherries. These things are great. They're tiny, super small, as you can see. Pack a lot of flavor. They're super tart. They are bitchin'. And that, my friends, is the Zeitgeist. So this drink is not a chugging drink. This drink, I designed it for super sipping, because as you drink it down, the ice cube, the big giant coffee ice cube, melts, and it starts to really alter the flavor of the drink, and it becomes very different from the in the end, is it more so than it was in the beginning. So if you decide to make this, I will link the recipe in the description down below after we get done recording, so that you guys, you know, if you want to make the drink, you can. So Chris, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
If we can.
I always do it backwards.
I know, right? It gets like switched or whatever. So, all right. Happy Saturday once again. All right. Let's go back to the chat a little bit. John is in the house. John, how are you? All right. So,
see, Heather says she's going to have to buy St. Julep. That's a really good one for Imaginary Authors. I almost bought that one last summer, so maybe I'll pick that one up too. The Highway. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I've got a bottle of that double rye. It is fantastic. It is delicious. And then Heather also said that she's the Black Suede Swope from Bruno Fazzolari.
Nice.
Awesome. Happy birthday. Excuse me. So now that we are all nice and semi-boozed up, let's talk about George Zaharoff and the Zaharoff line. So I don't know how many people in the chat or anybody that's watching this has, like, if everybody's heard about this particular fragrance brand, but it's got a really interesting and amazing storied past. Chris, why don't you start us off? I got to grab something out of the other room. Tell me what you think about Zaharoff.
Okay. Well, Zaharoff in general, George is an absolutely wonderful person. I have met him just with inside the fragrance community. He's really good friends with my best friend, Hillary. So that's how I was introduced to him. And that's pretty sure that's how I ended up with the bottles of these that I'm going to talk to you today. As soon as he heard that I was going to be making my own fragrance channel, he sent them to me with no questions asked. He just sent me Royale Noir. This bottle, the signature, was actually the bottle he sent Hill for review. Obviously, she enjoyed it, but it worked better off of my skin, so I got that one as well. But they are extremely conscious of everything that goes into their products. Everything is so meticulously cared for, and every package that they send out comes with a hand-signed postcard with a special message. Just everything about them is just extremely high quality. These bottles are designed with extreme care in mind. And if you talk to George for 5 minutes, you'll understand that he has direct input in everything that happens.
Yeah. I have met George once. I wrote down some notes because, I need to. My brain's scattered at times. So I thought I would write a couple things down that I wanted to talk about. So George, when I met him, I went to Scent Explore in New York City. This is in 2019. I was just starting to get out on, the whole like fragrance world or whatever. So I didn't really know anybody. I had reached out a couple of times to some random people I talked with. Justin from Stay Fresh Productions, Justin Copeland, Andrea from Curly Scents, a little bit. This is all, typed out online and whatnot. A little bit with Carlos from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, Chris from Fragmental. So I was super excited to go to this event. And it was, it was nerve-wracking, and I was super, super nervous because I might be able to talk your guys' ear off behind a camera, but I'm not great in crowds of people I don't know. So Justin came over and started talking to me, which I thought was awesome. And then he actually introduced me to George because they knew each other, I guess. And he came over and started talking to Justin, and Justin introduced me to him. George was like, there was no reason for him to be as talkative to me as he did. But he was totally awesome. Like, he was friendly, he was nice, he was very congenial, a very warm person. And every time that I've seen him, since then, whether it be Tony from damn, why can't I think of Tony's channel name right now?
Fragdicted?
Or Fragdicted. Sorry, Tony. Tony, he had him on one of his lives and interviewed him. And George is awesome. He's really, really cool guy. And so that was my first experience with him, and since then I had got a small sample of Signature Pour Homme. I had tried it maybe a handful of times. I think I was in the wrong mind space at the time, or it wasn't like my time to smell it, or for whatever reason, because I hadn't really given it any more thought than I'd spray it on a little bit and try it out. And but then when I got the travel set, just blew everything out of the water. I was blown away at how amazing all three of them were. They they're killer. So I mean, before we get into the fragrances themselves, like let's talk about Zaharoff, the brand. So originally, his mother, and I hope he doesn't mind me posting a picture of his mom, but I'm going to real quick. Like this was his mother, who was also in the fashion industry. So she started off and in the industry, the fashion industry in the 70s. And she became Zaharoff became very, very popular. And from my understanding, and this is just some research that I did, there's 45 of her designs in the Chicago History Museum. Like, wow. That's pretty huge in my opinion. And George pretty much, kind of followed in her footsteps, and he got into the fashion and design world as well. And later on down the line, he started to wanted to do a fragrance, wanted to get into the fragrance. So they launched the first fragrance in like the 1990s. I think it was 1997 was Zaharoff Pour Femme. And then in 99 was Zaharoff Pour Homme, like the original. So, and I guess, everything was going really, really well. And then 9/11 happened. And again, this is just what I've been able to research. I haven't talked to George directly to kind of confirm any of this stuff. So this is just what I've been, reading on like their website, as well as a little bit on some other, interviews or whatever. And 9/11 happened, and it was a kind of a crap storm, for lack of better terminology. Stuff started happening. They were going to do a partnership with another company, and that kind of fell out. And then eventually everything just kind of fell apart from my understanding. But then George was kind of started traveling. And during all of these travels, he went around to different parts of the world and checked out all these different fragrance ingredients, like on a hunt for like the best. Which not only was it him searching for the best, but he was also, as Chris was saying before, they are a super sustainable company. Like they go after the materials that are sustainable, like their sandalwood. It's sustainable sandalwood, oud, sustainable oud. It's not poached out stuff. It's making sure that they can get the high quality ingredients, but they're not depleting the supply, if that makes any sense. So in 2018, re-entered the fragrance world with Signature Pour Homme, which Chris, big bottle, way better than my wee tiny bottle. But yeah, and I got a chance to smell this a little bit at Scent Explore when I actually had a cold, so it didn't really do me any good. So Signature Pour Homme. What was your first thoughts, Chris, when the first time you smelled this?
So the first time that I sprayed it on, I just thought it smelled extremely clean and classy, and it smelled kind of like, a classic men's fragrance, but altered enough that someone today would want to wear it as their signature. And I'm a really big fan of lavender in fragrances. It's just a note that I really enjoy, and I get a lot of it in Signature Pour Homme. Like that is one of the main things that I get is the lavender. Let's see. I wrote down some notes about the fragrance as I was wearing it the last couple of weeks. Just so everyone is aware, all the notes, all of these are very complex fragrances. This one has lavender, myrrh, which is another fragrant note in fragrances. As soon as I see it, I know there's a good chance I'm going to like that fragrance. Incense, sandalwood, oud, patchouli, cypress, which is really prominent to my nose, black pepper, vanilla, Bulgarian rose, jasmine, and vetiver. I mainly get the lavender, myrrh, patchouli, and cypress, and then the sandalwood and rose kind of blend in the dry down for me. But this one is, of the three, it's definitely the loudest and the best projecting of the three, and I definitely see why it's called signature pour own. This could easily be someone's signature scent for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I like one of the things that stands out that's that I love about it is the sandalwood.
Mhm.
And I've read some mixed stuff, but I could have swore, like when I first read the notes breakdown on this, I could have swore that there was orris in here just because of the texture. And then reading different things, I'm still not 100% certain that there is, but I get that texture. I get that tangible, creamy but waxy sort of texture. It's got, this has so much depth.
It does.
It's the notes are like, you can pick out some stuff obviously, but it's so blended properly. So Claude Deer is the perfumer for this. He's got 46 fragrances under his belt from what I was able to gather. Again, this is just what I was able to gather. He's worked with Amarud, Bond Number 9, Hugo Boss, Kenneth Cole, Lacoste, Calvin Klein, and of course, Zaharoff. So talk about, I mean, it's typically for me, more often than not, I can smell fragrances that when I try them, it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me a little bit. Like there's a little bit of a tie. Like it reminds me a little bit of this. It reminds me a little bit of that. But there's obviously like there's subtle nuances that make them very, very different. There's not a lot of fragrances that I've tried. Not saying that I've tried all of them, but there's not a lot of fragrances that I've tried where I'm just like, holy shit, this doesn't smell like anything to me. You know, which again, it's subjective from person to person. But to me, this doesn't smell like anything I've ever smelled before. It's amazing to me. It's just like, this is so unique and standalone on its own. So I totally agree with you when you're talking about how it kind of has this, I don't want to say that it's necessarily like it's a gentlemanly quality, because I think I don't want to pigeonhole this and say that this is like, you know, it's a masculine fragrance only. I feel like anybody could wear this if they had the right frame of mind, the right confidence, and the right step to their movements. You know what I mean? Like it's not so much gentlemanly as it is classy, but it's not too classy. It's not stuffy. You know what I mean? Like there's playfulness in it. It's got like you said, a modern, classy quality to it.
You know, I feel like this one would work just as well on the construction site as it does in the grooming van. You know, you can wear it anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I definitely think it's the kind of fragrance that smells different in the air as opposed to when you smell it up on your skin. So if you smell it on your skin, that's where you can try and pick out those individual notes. But in the air, all you can get is just, damn, that smells good. You know, it's so well blended. It's just like, okay, that's great.
Yeah, I agree with you on that for sure, because it's interesting to see what it does on my skin throughout the day, and it's, you know, as the warmth happens, and I've worn, you know, this to work, because ever since I got those, and you know, when we were talking about doing this, and I ordered them, and they came, it was just like, okay, this is nonstop. I'm gonna bury myself in these 3 fragrances so I can get to know them well enough that I can feel comfortable talking about them. So yeah, great. Loved wearing them to the job site. Loved wearing them after work. Loved wearing them the Noir before bed. You know,
that's what I use it for.
Yeah, and it's like you said. I mean, the term signature. I don't throw that around because I have too many fragrances, and I don't know that I could ever choose a signature. But it is. You could wear this on a constant, and it would be.
Oh yeah.
Something that you could adapt to your everyday, because you could definitely throw a suit on, go to a club, get yourself a date for the wedding you're going to go to, if you know what I'm saying.
Also wear it.
Yeah. And it would work out wonderfully, and then take it to the gym, you know. Great fragrance, in my opinion. Yeah, I would say that like it's just amazing. Like I want to put this on, but I'm thinking for my scent of the day, I'm going to put on the Royale. So speaking of that, let's move on to the noir. So you get, like you talked about, I'll bring up that note list real quick. With the original, and I mean, it lists like all the places that this stuff comes from, like Guatemalan cardamom, French lavender, black pepper from Zanzibar, pear, cypress from Provence, ginger root from India, Virginian cedar, Indonesian oud, Italian iris. There we go. It does have iris. So, I mean, whether it's iris or orris. Yeah. Good nose price. Pimento leaves from Jamaica and balsam, fir balsams from Canada, Australian sandalwood, Indonesian patchouli, black amber, which I'm not sure what that is, but that sounds pretty bitchin'. Chinese myrrh, and Ethiopian frankincense. So the noir, basically what they talk about is that they removed some of the herbaceous oils, and then with just the wood. And so these do have kind of the same base. It's like the same genetic structure as the original. With the noir, they added some pink pepper and some citrus oils, mandarin and bergamot, and freesia, and anise and tonka as well to the base. So I'm going to put that on a strip.
So with the signature noir, what I wrote down is that I still get a big hit of the cypress, and I love pink pepper and anise, and I do pick those up in this one. And then the ginger, like the ginger or coriander, kind of blend together with just a little bit of the sweetness of that tonka bean, and it's just so smooth with that Australian sandalwood that this one, to me, I think I like the opening of the signature. Pour Homme is probably my favorite, but I think overall, I think the noir is probably my favorite, just to where.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It gets a little spicy on my skin after about an hour, maybe 2 hours. It starts to get a little more spicy as the day goes on, and it's just great.
For me, what I really like about it is like, this is super fruity, juicy. Like
really
those citrus notes, it's brighter, so it kind of comes through. It's I feel like it's a little bit lighter than the original, and like I say, the DNA is there. The base DNA is definitely there. Yeah. You can tell it's a Zaharoff.
It's a much quieter fragrance. It's not projecting. It's not as loud. It's just, a little bit closer to the skin, but extremely nice.
And it's got that calming effect. Like, for me, it's weird because it is a little bit energizing, but it's also calming at the same time. Yeah,
that's a good mix.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about all three of these is that they're similar, with the genetics, but I feel like they have a different place. Like the signature Pour Homme is like I said, it's pretty all purpose.
Yeah. This one to me is more like a special occasions type of one.
Gotcha. I think this one to me would be like, I feel like this signature Pour Homme might be a little too heavy for the summer heat.
Could be. Yeah.
I haven't tried it out yet. We'll find out this summer, but just because of like how much depth there is to it and complexity, and this still has depth and complexity, but it's just a little, it is like, damn it. It's like you add a little bit of bright. Okay, here we go. Musical analogy. If the Zaharoff signature line, if all three of them were jazz music,
okay,
then the signature Pour Homme would be like dark, gothic, New Orleans jazz, almost some of the more brooding Nina Simone style songs. Whereas this is a little bit brighter. This is like, the Noir it's nightlife jazz. It's French Quarter. Everybody's having a good time. It's still sexy and sultry and hot out, but it's a little cooler. That's what it is. It's a little cooler. So that's
a good way to say it. It is a little cooler. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a nice little playful feel to it. It's like, you can get a little bit more dirtier, I guess. Maybe there's a little more let yourself go energy with the Noir. So yeah, that's my ridiculous thought process.
That's a really good way to say it. Yeah, it's a good way to. I mean, it even says Noir. It's made for the night.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't really put the two together on that. But hey, Robert is in the house. Nisha is in the house. Thank you guys for coming by. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. So
day drinking like us.
Day drinking, yeah, we are having some adult beverage. And again, so going back to this real quick before we move on to the Royale.
Mm-hmm.
This, the coffee is starting to come out more because of that ice cubes melting. Very, very different drink now. I'm thinking about jazzing it up a little bit next time and adding an orange twist to it, to be honest, just to give it a little bit more zazz.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Tara is in the house. Thanks for coming by, Tara. You're in your car listening, so you can't see what we're typing about you. Chris, that's a terrible thing to say about Tara. Why would you say that about Tara? That's terrible.
Because it's true.
So, all right. The Royale.
So the Royale, to me, this is the most, obviously this one still in the same line, but this one is different to me. This one is completely different. This one is, let's see, it's got lots of other notes, but this one has apple, and I get the apple like in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And that just gives this whole fragrance a different, like, it's different from the get-go. And this one's like, this is the one that I thought had orris or iris or something pillowy in there from the cashmere and the musk. And it's just fluffy on my skin, you know? It smells like an apple fluffy cloud.
Mm-hmm. I get that softness, that the irisy, orrisy, it's not thick and waxy, but it's a lighter floof. It's floofster. Yeah, the cashmere blend. Yeah, definitely. You know, the great thing about this one though is that typically a lot of fragrances that, I mean, if they used the actual fragrance molecule of cashmeran or cashmeran or however you say it, I'm not 100% certain how to say it, but I have a bottle of it, and it's pretty pronounced. Like you can, you know, some fragrances when they overdo it, you're just like, well, this just smells like nothing but that. It's, you know, it's really intense. Okay. But it's to me, it's really well blended in here because it doesn't stand out as way too strong. So Mr. Claudier did, I think, a fantastic job in keeping it toned down, because it can be, you can add a little bit and you can really blow out the fragrance, but it's so textural in this as opposed to stand out and smack you in the face. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest difference between this one and the other two is just the texture. It's just so completely different.
Yeah. See, I get the cardamom really heavy,
which
I friggin' love, because I love cardamom fragrances. Like when I first smelled La Nuit de l'Homme, I was blown out of the water. It was just like, oh, it's so good. What is it that's making that smell? And, you know, the fact that it was like the cardamom that makes that. And this one is, it's funny that to me, like at first I thought that the Royale was like going to be lighter than the Noir.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Noir is a little bit lighter than the Royale. I feel like the Royale is, it's the golden color. I really enjoy the interplay as far as the feel of this fragrance, because it has that, and Royale is a great name for it because it has that regal, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for?
It has a regal bearing to it,
Yeah, it's like confidence and surety. It's I don't want to say arrogance. That's not the right word, but it's like that super, confident nature about it. And this is like, have you ever seen a New Orleans funeral line?
Yes.
Like the music that they play? This is a New Orleans funeral line. Not that makes it sound terrible because you use the word funeral, but the funeral line, when they're coming back down the street, it's bitching. It's like the mood is so up and everybody's dancing and they're doing this. Oh, it's great. And that's kind of the feeling that I get from this. It's more, there's a little bit more strength to it, I think, than like the noir.
So the only thing that I have against this one, and I'm going to ask you and see if it's the same with you. This is the only one that if I spray like around my chest or neck, this is the only one of the three that I will lose throughout the day. I will I will go anosmic to it if I spray it, anywhere other than arms. So I don't get that with the other two. With that one, I've done it twice on my chest and I've lost it both days. And then eventually it'll come back. But for a good 3 or 4 hours, it's just gone. The other
so
two,
it's just like, so maybe it's just that because then it's just got a certain amount of strength. So
it's just overpowering. Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. Yeah. I typically, like, I've been wearing these to work, and the Royale was the one that I think for the most part was there with me throughout the day. I have to wear a mask at work.
Yeah.
So I wear these neck gaiters. I mean, even if I am like 100 feet in the air in a boom lift and I'm by myself, they still make me wear a stupid mask because, I'm going to get it from the air.
Right.
It's a whole other discussion. But so yeah, and so I'll go underneath my shirt, and then I'll put a couple sprays on the outside of my shirt because when I have the mask up, it's like I'll have some on my arm. Throughout the day, it'll go away on my arm because I get covered in brick dust and sweat and all that stuff. But the Royale actually, I think, stayed with me somewhat the longest, but depending on the day, I'll pull off the shirt after work and then everything kind of comes back. So, Richard, gold, like you say, sweeter one makes me think autumn leaves and maybe maple dripping. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that analogy. Like it is. Damn it! It's like personality-wise, it's a very silver-tongued, confident, seductive voice, and that's what Royale is to me.
Yeah, to basically have my money and my pants. Just go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So, oh yeah, D'Angelo says he has the same deal. He goes anosmic to Royale.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Thank you, D'Angelo.
Yeah, I think it's anosmia is weird, man. Like, it's so funny because a lot of people hate on Dark Rebel from Jean Varvatos. Because they just go anosmic to it. They're like, oh, it doesn't last. And I go in and out of it with that. Like sometimes I'll spray it on me and I can smell it all the way into the next morning. And then there's other times it's like an hour or two later, I can't smell it anymore. It's weird. Oh, hey, there's Tony.
What's up, Tony? We were just talking some bad things about you.
Yeah, I forgot your channel name briefly. I apologize. Oh, no worries, man. Give Bex a big birthday hug for us.
Yeah,
totally.
Definitely.
Yes, Fanbo weekend for sure. So the big thing. So, okay. So you said that noir is probably your favorite then.
I think overall, yeah, noir is probably my favorite, but it is more of like a special occasion fragrance in my opinion. So I don't reach for it as often. I do wear Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme probably more than the other two.
I gotcha. I don't know that I have a favorite among the three. I like them all equally for different like personality reasons. If you don't like my personality, just pick a different one of that I have. But I do know that the signature pour homme. So upon getting this and wearing it a bunch and enjoying the hell out of it, I got really inspired. So I started writing a video or a short film involving this, and it's all in my head, and it's so cool. It's going to be cool if I can pull it off. I'm just trying to teach myself how to be a filmographer a little bit better with some of my videos, but
Awesome.
yeah, so it's really inspiring for me to do this kind of interesting, video for that. And so I think just for that reason, I think that I'm edging towards that one. But like I say, I think to me, this is like daytime. This is, this is a little more in the evening. Like I love wearing this at night, like to bed so far. And then this is, the full on signature is going to be a really an all purpose as far as the Zaharoff line. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that I want all three of these, at some point I will have them. Now, Mr. Zaharoff is pushing out some new stuff soon. I shouldn't say pushing out, it sounds terrible.
Yes,
he's
indeed.
going to be releasing some new stuff. So I know that he's got the rosé in the works. I saw Eva from Fragrance Test Tube did a little bit of a review on it, and it's on the website as a pre-sale. But there was some hush hush for a bit, and then I asked Andrea from Curly Scents to, I didn't want to step on anybody's toes by talking about it, and they have talked about it. So they have this. They've been working with George, and that is the Z Creators team. So it is 3 fragrance reviewers. And they are all releasing their own line, or not line, but own fragrance, their own fragrance interpretation. And I'm super, super excited about this because Andrea is, doing one from Curly Scents. Check out her channel if you guys have not. She is super, super great. Such an amazing human being. And Justin as well, super, super friendly and super wonderful guy. He's from Portland as well. I don't really talk to him much, but he's a musician. So that's the other thing too, is that both Andrea and Justin are musicians. So I have this music fragrance correlation in my head all the time. So I'm super excited to see what they put out. The third creator is Ross from TLTG Fragrance Reviews. Now I've not checked out any of his stuff. So I really don't know anything about him. But I would imagine that if George chose him to work with him, then he's probably going to put out something really amazing too. So I have no idea if he has a musical background or not. If maybe that's like a tie-in. That's just speculation and whatnot. But yeah, I'm super, super stoked and excited because
I'm excited about that too. And that collaboration just again goes back to George being such a big part of the fragrance community, because he's reached out to these people, and not only the people that he's collaborating with, he reached out to other people in the fragrance community to help with the production. Because I know that he reached out to a couple of other people in the fragrance community, Sancho and Aram, and a couple others to help.
Oh, okay.
Because they have production and camera abilities. I mean, that's what they do for their day job, computer and websites and that kind of thing. So he pulls everybody in, because everybody is, we're all connected by fragrances, but we all have other things, and he just pulls everybody together. So, I mean, he's just a great person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like I find a lot of correlation between him and Jon Snow as far as like how they both just kind of, they're like glue, like fragrance community glue. You know what I mean? In a way.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, John. I don't know if you're still in here or not.
Of course, he's still he's glue. You can't get rid of him.
I love that about him too, for sure. And hey, thank you for coming. Scent of Salt, appreciate. I definitely, I honestly, after finding out about the whole Zed creators thing, I don't have a lot of time lately to watch YouTube as much as I used to, just because of the fact that I've been working on these 2 jobs that have been super stressful, and my YouTube content has suffered because of it. I haven't been able to get out and shoot film. I haven't been feeling as creative, unfortunately, because I'm just like stressed. But I do want to go check out Ross's channel to, get a feel for him, because I would like to get a feel for him as a person before I, check out his fragrance. Because it's not like I know Andrea and Justin really, really well, but I kind of have a sense of the 2 of them a little bit, So yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty awesome. Those 3 fragrances. So basically, point being is that in the future, be on the lookout. We're looking at 4 new fragrances from Zaharoff. I know that originally he was going to do the Royale and the Noir as limited editions. I do believe somebody, if you could tell me if I'm wrong or not, please tell me that he's going to continue doing those. I thought I remember reading somewhere. Yeah, because otherwise, what am I going to do? I got to get the 3 of these in bigger bottles because they are fantastic. And I'm really hoping that, oh, hey, thank you so much, Mr. Zaharoff, for coming in. Hey, George.
Hey, what's up, George?
How are you? Happy birthday, sir. I know it's a week late, but thank you so much for dropping by. Appreciate it.
This is done properly, but with, just barely enough respect, probably.
As much as we can with day drinking. And I'm fantastic news to hear that you're keeping the Royale and the Noir. We love them quite a bit.
Because I'm OCD, and even though I have all 3, the bottles don't match, and that doesn't work with me. So I'm going to have to either get bigger bottles of Noir and Royale or a smaller bottle of Signature.
Yeah, exactly. No, what's great about it, though, is that if you put them in a line, you have the Signature in front and the other 2 on the sides. But then if there's 6 fragrances, then you're boned, right? Because then
I'm going to need more cabinet space.
There's no symmetry on either side. So,
so I can
shit. I mean, if you want to, or you just, Oh, awesome. Well, again, we're coming up on an hour now, and this drink is starting to hit a little bit, which is good.
This is Saturday. That's what you need. It's still early. You can have like 4 more of those today. No, that'd be a bad idea. I don't drink as like I used to. It's not in the cards. So what do you got coming up that you're looking at, Chris? What do you think that actually, before we get off into that, George, since you're in here, do you think maybe you guys will be doing the Zed creators will be one run? Okay. I was wondering if maybe you were going to start doing like a discovery kit with when those came out, but if they are a one run, then I would imagine that's not necessarily the case. Okay. Well, yeah, George is in the chat. Does anybody want to ask George anything? George, actually, damn it. There was something I wanted to ask you. Your fashion line. So I haven't done enough research to go look and see if I could find anything, but I know that you're still in men's fashion. So is that just kind of like a boutique type thing, or are you at Nordstrom's with your fashion line? Just wondering. No discovery. Okay. But in case those of you that haven't tried Signature Pour Homme, they do have samples that you go onto the website. If you're watching back this video, I will make sure to link the Zaharoff website down below. It's relatively easy to find as well online, but I will definitely link it. And I mention it every time George is around or anytime that I talk about the Zaharoff stuff. If you have a beard, you will be doing yourself a good service if you do not buy the Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme beard oil. I didn't grab it before the stream, but my bottle is halfway gone of that beard oil. And I have about 17 different beard oils, and that seems to be the one that I use every single day because it is the best one. It smells the best. It leaves my beard feeling the best. If you have a beard, get the beard oil. Thank me later.
Yeah, you got the epic beard there, bro. Like you, you definitely got to keep track of it or keep good care of that. Let's see. So it was under the Vashon was under Brooks Brothers. Oh, it's all on hold. Okay. So now fragrance accessories and limited made to measure clothing. All right. Well, George, if I get lucky and hit the lottery tonight, I still have time. I will have somebody make me some. I've seen some of the stuff, and I like the designs. They're beautiful. I would love a new suit. I'm getting. I've got the Quarantine 15 on right now, so I need a new suit. My other suits don't fit as much as they used to, which is just bullshit.
The Quarantine 15. It's all in them biceps.
I wish. It actually. I have been working out a little bit more, and I am putting some muscle mass on in my legs, and my favorite pants don't fit anymore. That pisses me off. Ooh, okay, here we go. Here's a big announcement. There's a tobacco. That is awesome. So rosé coming up in May, tobacco in August. Fantastic.
That's good.
What? You son of a bitch. You should probably send me a little bit of that.
I'll have to steal it from Hill, but I will.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no qualms about taking from her, so it's fine.
I've noticed when you do that, you need to send me some of the Enchanted Forest stuff too, because
I've got a bottle of that myself, so I can send you some of that.
Sweet. And let's see.
All my money.
Okay, here we go.
Rebate, fall 2022. At least we have time. We can plan for spending that money. We have time. We can plan for that.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for coming into the chat, George. And fantastic fragrances. I mean, they're pretty bitchin'. I do definitely dig your hands-on approach to every aspect of it, because I know that that's one of my favorite things about the indie lines is the hands-on approach that those independent perfumeries, or perfumers do, or even if it's just the creators, then they work directly with their perfumers. Ola Bear has the same deal. The line owner works so well with the perfumers to create exactly what she wants vision-wise, and I think that's good as opposed to just like here, go check this out, see what it's like. Let me see. Instead of just being kind of and not half-assing it, and I appreciate the hell out of it. That's what I love about zoologist fragrances too, is that
exactly
Victor's very, very right there for everything. So it's visionary. So yeah. All right. Well. All right. That's very, very awesome. That's very, very awesome.
We appreciate it,
guys.
George, and we'll continue to give you all the money that we can.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's start to wrap this up a little bit so we can all enjoy the balmy weather or the shit weather or the rest of our evenings. Yeah. So next broadcast, I'm sure that we will get together. Chris and I will get together and kind of decide what we're going to do. But if you guys want to drop some suggestions, if you are just watching this over or whatever, go ahead and throw it down in the comments down below. Again, as usual, go over to Chris's not often produced YouTube channel, Scented Swordsman. Let's all needle the hell out of him to start producing some more videos, because he's got a good nose on.
That's apparently what it's going to take, just prodding.
Get the videos done, Chris. Yeah, well, I will link that down in the description below, as well as Chris's Instagram, where he is quite a bit more active. I will also link my Instagram. And yeah, please let us know, if you guys got some suggestions, if you got a house you want us to check out, if you got just a couple fragrances you want us to check out, if you've got whiskeys that we don't have. I do believe actually Chris, we might have to go and look up the Sagamore line because D'Angelo was talking about that a couple of times. So
I have that saved, and I went into one liquor store nearby, and they did not have it. So I'm gonna have to search. So it'll be such a burden for me to go to other liquor stores. I'm willing to put in the footwork. I will find it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think usually there's a couple of places that I go to for all my whiskeys that are in Portland, just sparsely located, and they don't even have the Sagamore. The Sagamore, I have to go, I think, to Salem and go down south to get it, which is fine. I got no problem with taking a trek. It's not going to be the first time I've done a trek for a good bottle of booze, or a good fragrance for that matter. So, yeah, definitely drop a suggestion for us, and I think other than that, I think we're pretty much good for the evening,
I think so. I mean, I'll have to have a little more bourbon, but I think we're doing good.
Yeah. So to your health, everyone. Thank you everybody for coming by and listening to us ramble about fragrances and spirits. We super, super appreciate it. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you on the next episode of
See you next time.
Bye.